Hi everybody, welcome to Invarion's RapidPlan video tutorial. Today we're going to cover adding text to your plans. So you're going to want to add text for many different reasons in your plan. One may be direct attention to a certain area, give instructions, or name something like a road. So we're going to go into how to do that today. So where will you find your text tools? You're going to find it under the tools palette, and then you're going to find it under text. So floating over, you got 6 different choices. You got your text objects, text box, text pair, arrow text, call out box, and then your path text. We're going to cover all of those today. So let's go ahead and get started with the text object. So clicking on the text object, it opens up this text object quick editing box. So if you have it checked off, it's going to give you a preview. Unchecking it will remove the preview from the upper view. This is your text area where you can actually type something in. So I like to use these to actually name the street. So I'm just going to call this Main Street. I got full control over what type of fonts I want to use, the size that I want, what color, whether or not it's going to be bold, italicized, or centered. And you can see it makes those changes as I select these. I'm going to go ahead and hit OK. And you can see it sort of follows my cursor around, and then all I need to do is do a left click, right click to end it. I'm going to select this because I'm going to reposition it. You can actually resize it, reposition it. I'm going to use these repositioning handles, pull it over, and then I'm just going to drag this over to my road right here. And I properly name my road. If you need to edit this out, you can either double click on it, edit it from this quick editing toolbox, or you can come over to the detailed properties and make changes from here as well. Hey, let's jump into the next one. So the next one is our text box. So a text box basically allows you to draw a box out any size that you want and then add text into it. So it's good for instructions where you really want the eye to move to and see those instructions. So it's easy to do. Just click on it. You can see that RapidPlan has become a pencil. It's ready to draw. Left click, I'm going to drag. And you see wherever I'm my cursor, I can make it as big and small as I want, or as wide and long as I want. And then I'm going to do a left click and a right to end it. There's no text in here, so to add text inside, I need to double click on it. And it opens up that familiar looking editing box that we have in RapidPlan. So it's good for notes. And I'm not going to write anything along in here. But you can put instruction. And you've got your choice of doing left justified, right centered, and choose any one of those. You can do fonts, change your font styles, your stroke, your fill, and then whether or not you want that on your legend or not. Okay, I'm just going to go ahead and hit OK. And you can see I've added that in there. If I select it, I can either double click on this, use my quick editing tool to go ahead and make changes to that, or I can select it and make my changes from the detailed properties palette on the right hand, on my right hand side. Let's jump into a few other of these. We've got our text pairs. So text pairs will actually put 2 different values, or a label and a value with a colon in between. So it's good for a lot of different purposes. I've seen it being used for permit information. So there's very little modification or editing that you can do with this because it only consists of 2 values. So I've seen this being used for permit numbers, and I've seen it used for a few other things as well, but primarily permit numbers. You can choose your orientation, vertical, horizontal, and you click OK. Just like anything else, you can kind of move it up to where you want it to go. Do a left click, right click, and then there you go. You've got it into place. And there's many other uses for this. You need to go ahead and change it. Double click it again, and you can see we're limited in really what we can change in it. You can change a little bit more in the properties section. Okay, let's go on to our next one. Our next one would be our callout box, or our arrow text box, I'm sorry, where we have an arrow and the end tail of it actually carries the text. So I'm going to go ahead and select that, and I'm just going to start where I want to position this out. And every time you do a left click, you can actually put a bend in this or a curve. Doing a right click ends it, and you can see that now it's ready for some text. So I'm going to put in, just type in safety zone in there. And let me zoom out a little bit further. And I'll click off of that. So it brings attention to the area that you're pointing to with the text at the very end of it. Need to change this, select it. You can come up here and make detailed property changes in here, or you can do a double click on it and then do your quick editing from here. Change your font center, draw a text background if you want to, and also change the color. So you've got a lot of different things you can do with this. Let's go back into here. Let's go in the call out box. And the call out box again is really good for detail, bringing somebody's attention to a particular area. So again, you're going to find the point where you want to start this, which I'm going to do right here. I'm going to do a left click. And if you see, I can drag this out any way I want. And I'm going to do a left click and that ends it. And then it puts a blinking cursor in there and you can put instructions in there. So I'm going to say parking for trucks. And you can always click it. Again, go into your details, properties, and make changes from here. Or you can double click it and then go into your call out box, quick editing box, just like this. And it's got a lot of different choices, similar to what we had with the other ones. We've got text, fonts, stroke, fill can all be changed from here as well. Solid style, you can do transparent, crosshatch. So you've got a lot of different selections under here. The last one we're going to be talking about is one of my favorite ones. This is the path text. And what the path text allows you to do is draw a path and then have the text follow that out. So let's do an example of that right now. So I'm going to go to my text path and I'm going to initiate this thing with a left click, and you can see it's pulling my text out. If I do another left click here, I'm starting to put some curves. So what I'm really doing is I'm dropping control points down, just like your roads and other things, and left click right. So it does come with some default text. It says enter text here. You need to select it so you can see where it's curved. I can also grab these little control points and move them around any way that I want. And I'm just going to curve it up like this. So how do you get the text in? That's a good question. So if you're going to put text in here, your own text in the holding places, you're going to have to go into the properties box, the properties palette. This is where you're going to enter your text where it says text. And so this is where I would put, for example, RapidPlan is great. And you can see put the text here. Remember, you can always go back, select it. You can move things around just a little bit. If you grab a control point, pin it down like this. If you need to edit out what you just put in there, go right back up to your properties box, and then you can make changes from here. And you can see as I change the right, left, center, it sort of moves accordingly within that path line. You can do your tightness, your font sizes, so you've got a lot of different things you can do as far as property wise. I hope this video tutorial is helpful for you. Please take the time to watch some of our other ones, and thank you.